Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about moving a physical media collection, because when you have a physical media collection the size as mine, like it's pretty damn massive, when you decide to move, it becomes quite an issue. And there is a lot of logistics that go with moving a collection like this. So for starters, boxes, people will look at boxes and be like, okay, I'm doing a big move. How do I move the collection from point A to point B? Boxes are the natural sort of thing that comes to mind. But I want to talk about how I'm moving, because there's a lot of things happening at the moment. I am probably going to move, but I'm trying to find a place that will fit the collection, because the collection's a part of me. So I am looking at sort of how to move this from point A to point B. And it is a pain in the butt. I will say that it's a pain in the butt. But also it's exciting, because it means that, yes, people know that I've been like taking things out of my collection. I have not got around to listing them yet, but I will put them up for sale somewhere. The ones that are going, like Halloween's collection and stuff like that. But moving the overall collection, the stuff I want to keep, all this stuff that I want to keep, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I did have a solution, and it does work. The solution that I've found, if you don't want to go and pay big exorbitant prices for boxes that boxes that you don't necessarily aren't going to reuse, boxes that you're just going to pay, what, $5 a box, and then you'll be done with them soon after. Now, if you're doing long moves, that's okay. But if you're just moving parts of the collection at a time, you can use something like these. And I'm not getting sponsored by these people. I'm just going to turn the bag that way. But these little paper bags by some supermarkets. And by the way, Coles have the exact same bags. I think Aldi's might have the exact same bags. You can use any sort of supermarket bag. The thing with these is, if you don't overload them, these are pretty efficient at moving a collection. I think by comparison, what I could put in other, because I've tried the concept, what I can put in other bags, like that size, I can probably fit about 50 DVDs or Blu-rays in it. I mean, if DVDs are a bit bulkier outwards, so maybe 44, 46 DVDs, I can fit maybe 50 Blu-rays. And that's with stuff on top. Because you actually have a lot of room in these bags. I think everyone's seen the inside of a supermarket bag. I don't think I need to show you anything. But just in case there's people overseas who are wondering, this is the capacity. Like, you have a pretty large amount of room in there. And surprisingly, they're just the right amount of space for a Blu-ray. They're just the right amount of space. So when you put them in on the bottom or such, I'm going to show you on camera, they will sit in there pretty flat. And you can double load them, and then you can load them on top. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that on here, because that's a way I'm looking at moving the collection. They're cheap. These are like 25 cents or something, 15, 25 cents, depending what supermarket you go to. I mean, you can go to Woolworths, you can go to Coles, you can go to Aldi. I'm not getting paid by any of them, so I don't care which supermarket you go to. But I'm using Woolworths ones because it's the most efficient, and also Coles as well. If I get Coles ones, I don't really care. I'm not picky. The logistics is moving a collection of this size from point A to point B. And for my collection, Woolworths and Coles bags just make the most sense. They're cheap, they're available, and honestly, when I'm done with them, they go in the recycling bin. It's not like a bulky box that's going to have to be used once and then donated or thrown away or figure out how to recycle it. I also want to say that I'm taking the bookcases with me. I am keeping my bookcases, so this is going to keep on going the way it is. I am keeping my bookcases because I love the design. Like, I like this design. The only thing is, I might get rid of this one out of the center. I might get rid of the one out of the center and just bring them all together. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking of the design, but yeah, it's interesting, It's very interesting, especially when, look, since the start of this channel, this collection really hasn't changed in background. So moving will actually give me some chances to rearrange stuff, to bring things more in line with the way I want them seen. I've also got stuff off camera. I've got videotapes that I'm trying to sell, WWE tapes. Yeah, I've been meeting up with people just selling them off. So if you want some wrestling tapes, let me know and I'll work out a price. But people are like, oh, give me the WCW tapes, all of them for $10. And I'm just like, nope, block, go away. But, if people make fair offers and say, hey, I know you got Survivor Series 97, I'll give you whatever amount for that. Like, I know you got some of those, like, make a fair offer and I'll be fair. I am a fair person. That sounds awful. Anyways, what's some of your experiences with moving? Because I love hearing from the community. Everyone knows when I come on these videos and rant, I like to read the comments. Now, I don't necessarily get down in the comments and reply back because it's just impossible to get around to like 60, 70, 80 comments sometimes. But I do read them. I do scroll through them. I do look. Sometimes I give a little thumbs up. I don't always give the hearts because people will know I'm reading them and then try to get my attention by replying to them. So I'm there, but I'm like not there. And yeah, people who don't watch the videos won't know that. But anyways, when I look at this collection, I got too much for starters. That's a lot. And then the box sets are another like issue. All those box sets up there are another issue for another day to figure out the variables with that. But also, I'm sort of looking at this as a reset. You know, a reset of my collection, a reset of sizing. Everyone knows that I've been doing this for the past couple of months. I've been putting stuff in boxes like these or that. Now, I originally put them in these sort of boxes. They're half ones, and these fit a good amount of Blu-rays in them. I think they fit about 100, maybe 150 folded down into sleeves. They fit a good amount, you know? Look at this. They fit a very good amount. Just don't worry about that tripod. But they fit a very good amount of Blu-rays in there. And if I leave some room at the end, you can always expand the collection later on. Like, there's always room to expand. But in the past couple of weeks, because IKEA don't make these boxes for any reason anymore. I don't know why they discontinued these boxes. These were actually really very nice boxes. But IKEA decided, hey, everyone likes this product, so let's can it, because IKEA can't stick with a good product for some reason. So I've started going with these boxes. I don't know what these ones are, but they're the equivalent size to those boxes. They're equivalent size, and they fit into Blu-ray spaces. So I've been fitting a lot more into a box. Let me show you that. I've been fitting a lot more, and I can also fit the covers in with this, so I can fit those folded down parts, you know? So I've got a lot in here. This is probably, I would say, maybe 250 in there. Maybe if I'm being conservative, maybe 200. But, you know, that's a box that would take 4 or 5 shelves in this bookcase. And that's what I've done. I've put it into there. Now, I have not folded down any 4K Blu-rays yet. I folded down my Blu-rays, but I have not folded down one 4K Blu-ray yet. Because 4K Blu-ray is my background. I use it a lot. And yeah, it just makes sense to not fold down 4K. Now, there could be a situation where I do need to fold some down. I also have not really folded down TV. I folded down some TV that I don't really watch, but the ones that I watch, I kind of keep out. But there's a question of like, I don't really want to fold down the 4Ks because A, if I need to resell them, 4K covers are a lot harder to come by than Blu-ray. You know, Blu-ray covers, if I needed to put any of those back in a cover, Blu-ray covers are pretty easy to get. Like, I could get maybe 50 of them for, I don't know, I wouldn't pay 50 for 50, but, you know, I could get them for maybe 20, 15, $20, maybe even 10 if someone's desperate to offload them. And there are a lot of people who do try to get rid of them, you know. Recycling centers, like, they recycle them as well. They go to recycling centers, but Blu-ray is very easy to put back into cases. You can easily get those. It's the same reason why I took my PS3 collection out of the things and put into boxes, because PS3 covers are very easy to come by as well. Like, I've seen a lot of those secondhand that have no discs in them. They're just ready to be picked up. You know, anything that's easy to grab and pick back up if I need to put them back into cases, I do. Anything else like these, the black covers with 4K Blu-ray on it, these aren't as readily common as you might think. These covers, they're really hard to come by secondhand and with nothing in it. So I don't really want to do that and then, you know, 10 years down the track say, oh, I should have kept them in that and then putting them back. You know, it's going to cost me very expensive compared to Blu-ray and DVD. And DVD is cents, you know. I could get maybe 200 DVD covers for maybe 20 bucks, you know. That's not hard to get DVD covers. But this is the thing I want to talk about. Like, moving a collection from point A to point B is a bit of a pain in the ass. But as I said, I'm looking at this solution to move the collection. Now, also the Billy bookcases need to be folded down. There's stuff like that that I need to do. The Nedby bookcases that I've got the wrestling collection in over there, just ignore all this crap on the table. They're Nedbys, or G Nedbys, whatever they're called. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I just call them Nedbys. Those ones I can move in one thing in a car. Like, they're pretty easy to fit into a car because they're pretty flat to begin with. I don't really need to fold those down to save even more space. With Billy bookcases, these are bulky. They're very bulky. They're 28 centimeters deep and they're 202 centimeters high. I've also got the top for them, but I use them for something else. But this is kind of, it's a work in progress. But also, you know, I need to figure out how to move the logistics of this. I need to figure out how to move this from point A to point B, but also without as much disassembly as possible. Like, I'm thinking these center ones, if I take these with me, I could pretty easily fit these into a car. They're not going to be that hard to fit into a car. That being said, I also need to look at the logistics of moving them from point A to point B. Can they fit through a doorway? Can they be moved? How do you move them? How do I move the collections? Because obviously, you know, I've got stuff in here right now, so you'd have to take them out, move the bookcase, then move it to the next place, then put the discs and that back in. You know, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass that way. So that's why I've got the bags. You know, the bags are a quick solution, accessible, don't have to go hunting for them, very easy to discard afterwards. And also, I trust this method, you know. This method is very flexible. I can reuse these bags for shopping, you know? There's a lot of flexibility. But I also like that appeal. I like that, A, I can reuse the bags if I want to. B, I can chuck them away pretty easily. You know, folding down like 2 dozen of these is pretty easy for a recycling bin. That's not going to be an issue. I can reuse them for food scraps, you know? There's a lot of stuff I can reuse those for. A big bulky box isn't too, like, isn't too appealing of what I can use it for afterwards. You know, I'm always about reuse and don't damage the environment, because I don't care about the environment, but, you know, don't damage it, like, don't create more waste than you need to make, you know? As I say, like, I try to, when I had my Blu-ray covers, I didn't even really want to throw them out. Like, I didn't want to put them in the recycling bin, because I was like, can any other collector use these? And when nobody got back to me on Facebook and all that, I was just like, okay, I guess I will recycle them. And the recycling center probably would have melted those down and turned them into a Coke bottle. So there you go, you're using a part of me now. Nah, they wouldn't have, I don't think. Nah, all my DVD covers are in the ocean. Some nice turtles are eating those now. I don't know, just imagine that, a nice warm Blu-ray cover for a nice turtle. You know, a turtle might have a bit of a munch on that. Actually, no, I'm not going down this slope. That's, people are going to rip me apart for that one. Where were we? That's the ADHD and autism coming out. If people don't know, like, I was recently diagnosed with ADHD and autism. So yeah, sorry. I mean, everyone could tell. It's not like it's some big secret. But yeah, recently diagnosed. I've joined the club. I'm definitely on the spectrum. I have joined the club. But now I've been going back through like school reports and saying like, okay, it was always there. Like, you can see it. You know, it's very easy. I will talk about that stuff on Jamie Toomey Life at some point. I'm getting that Jamie Toomey Life channel back up and running. Well, like, getting it up and running, it's a new channel, but, you know, I want to figure out the first video. I don't want to make it just like, I have this, and then, you know, it's just a generic thing, and that identifies the channel. You know, I have to do a good video that I want the channel to be. I'm thinking about going places, like just going somewhere, and I can't call it Going Places, because that's owned by someone, but, you know, I will call it something like Jamie Goes Somewhere or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I'll do something and do it outside of the collection, because I want it to be like me going to a beach, or not like to swim, but just like to hang out, or like outside of the collection, because you see this in every other channel. You see this in the gaming channel. You see this in the sports channel. I should do sports in front of like stadiums, you know, go to like Moore Park Stadium, go to Homebush, you know. I should do sports outside, but the only thing is the elements, you know. You're affecting your, you know, the wind and stuff like that. The elements will change and you can't control everything. In the room, it's a pretty controlled environment. But back to the topic, because you didn't come here to listen to me rant about that. I want to know what you did when you moved. I want to know, if, for the people out there who have large collections, you know, the big YouTubers, or if you're not a YouTuber, like the big collectors out there who just have big collections like this and decided one day, hey, I've got to move houses. How do I move a collection of this size from point A to point B? Because there are people who have massive sort of collections, bigger than mine. And as I constantly talk about downsizing, I need to still list those on eBay or something. It becomes an issue of, okay, how do I make this manageable? Because manageable is going to be an issue. Obviously, I want to fit these down the 3 bookcases. With these out of the middle, they go over to the bookcase and then it's all good. But also, I want it to be sort of a reset, as I mentioned. I don't want to just take crap for the sake of taking crap, you know? I want it to be flexible in terms of what I can do with my collection. I want it to be flexible in terms of how I can think about my collection. You know, my collection is definitely identifiable in the back of my YouTube videos. It's definitely something that are like, oh, that's Jamie's collection. It's got to keep its personality. And that's another part of being a YouTuber that may not be relevant to people who have moved, who have big physical media collections, who don't do YouTube. Like, when you're in here and you're looking at the collection, it's massive. I mean, DVDs could make it, maybe take its own space when I move or whatever, but it's a massive sort of deal, you know, it's a massive sort of thing. It's a massive task. And as I said, the bags are kind of the way I'm looking. People might say, oh, what if it rips out the arse? Well, luckily, double bag them, you know. That's another way. If it starts to look like it's a bit flimsy, the bags, double bag, you know. Double baggers. Me and my old references. I'm old. But yeah, let me know what you think. I've ranted on this for 15 minutes at this point. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. Go follow my TikTok, Jamie Toomey Presents, and also my Instagram. My Instagram I do more on anyways, but look at the end screens. I'll put a couple of end screens here and you can watch them all. I'll sit in the center of them so you can still see me while you look at the end screens. I will get back to 7 Deadly Sins eventually. I will do a couple of 7 Deadly Sins, and then, yeah, other than that, hype the video, swipe across on the comments and hype, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.